All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Navigating Contract Opportunities with the Queen City. My name is Carlos Ray. I'm a representative with the City of Charlotte Contractor Development Program. I want to welcome you all today and just want to read a brief disclaimer. As the host of this meeting, Meriwether and Williams Insurance Services reserves the right to remove anyone participating or engaging in behavior that is either inappropriate or a distraction to the proceedings. Persons involved in such behavior will immediately be removed from this meeting and not allowed to rejoin. With that being said, we hope you take advantage of the great information that we have for you this evening. This event is presented by council members at large, James Mitchell and Lawana Mayfield. So we're excited to have them here with us today. But first, I would like to introduce our program development manager for Meriwether and Williams, Ms. Lakeisha Bearden, for opening remarks.
Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me well? My name is Lakeisha Bearden. I am the Director of Program Development and just excited to have you all here today on behalf of our council member, James Mitchell and Lawana Mayfield. Also want to talk a little bit about our contractor development and bonding program. It really is an opportunity for small businesses like yourself to have an opportunity to really scale up, get the resources that they need to better position themselves to do work with the City of Charlotte. So excited to be a part of the City of Charlotte's business inclusion program, really designed to, again, equip all of you small businesses who are particularly in the construction arena with the tools necessary to ensure that they can bid on work with the City of Charlotte. So I want to take this moment to introduce Stephen Kolker, who is the Charlotte's Business Inclusion Officer. Steve?
Thank you, Lakeisha, and good evening to all of you. I am so pleased to have you here. Every time we get together, and that means us and Meriwether and all the businesses that have so far gone through this program, just amazing things happen. And I know we'll make sure that that continues to happen tonight. As far as CDI, we're always excited to work for you. We are servants. Your tax dollars pay for our work, and we're definitely committed to advancing all of your businesses. CDI not only supports MWSBE contracting, but we also take you as you are and look to develop you in such a way that many of you, our goal is to grow from subcontractors to prime contractors. So we're here to support you. We are so fortunate, though, to have leadership that's behind us. And when I talk about commitment, there's no one any more committed than Councilmember Mayfield. She has worked with us, right along since I've been here. She's come on council. She's an at-large member, and she really advocates for the issues that matter, and especially as it relates to minority, women, and small business enterprises. I am pleased to turn the mic over to Councilmember Mayfield. Thank you for your hard work, and we always look forward to working with you. Councilmember.
Thank you so much for that introduction, everyone, and good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for today's seminar, Navigating Project Opportunities in the Queen City. As an at-large member of City Council, I'm thrilled that we could bring together this panel of experts to provide guidance to minority women and small business enterprises on how to pursue contracting opportunities in our growing city. Charlotte's development and construction boom over the last decade has created tremendous economic opportunities. However, we want to ensure that these opportunities are available in an equitable way. As Steve mentioned, we want to make sure that businesses of all sizes and backgrounds have an opportunity. That's why initiatives like the city's contractor development program are so vital. The program aims to level the playing field by providing training, resources, and networking connections to help our MWSBE firms build their capacity and competitiveness for landing major contracts. So during tonight's webinar, You'll hear directly from city staff involved in procurement and contracting. They'll walk through the process for registering as a vendor, identifying relevant solicitations, and putting together a successful bid proposal, which is so important. You'll also learn about the various components of the contractor development program, from the classroom instruction covering topics like estimating, scheduling, and project management to the all important one on one coaching and technical assistance. Our goal is to empower local small business with the knowledge and skills to navigate the bidding process and put themselves in a position to work on Charlotte's many upcoming private and public projects. So I encourage you all to be prepared, which I know you are, but have your questions. Actively engage with our panelists. Take full advantage of all the resources we'll be discussing today. And if you don't hear something, say something. Ask about it, because it might be in someone's mind. They just might have forgotten to mention it. The city of Charlotte is committed to nurturing an inclusive economy where businesses of all sizes can access meaningful opportunities. Let's work together to ensure the Queen City continues rising for everyone. Thank you all. I'll turn it now over to our moderator to help get us started.
Thank you, Councilwoman Mayfield, so much for your leadership and your support of the Contractor Development Program. Resources like this would not be possible without support, leadership of like yourself and others who have championed this program and allowed this great work to be impactful to the city of Charlotte. So I wanted to invite back Keisha Bearden to talk a little bit about the program, and we'll go through a presentation about the Charlotte Contractor Development Program and what it all entails.
Thank you, Carlos. Next slide, please. So a little bit about our firm. We are by license, a full service property and casualty firm. We have been in business for 27 years now. We just recently joined the Hub International company. So we're really excited about that because it allows us to really scale what we've been doing over the last 27 years. As you know, diversity, equity, and inclusion is really being targeted right now. And it's important that programs like ours are in areas that require and need diverse businesses to really help their economy grow and be pillars in their community. So we're really excited about this partnership. It's going to allow us to leverage our resources that are currently in place there at Hub International, allowing us really to ramp up these types of programs across the country. Again, so we've been doing this as Meriwether and Williams for 27 years. We're headquartered in San Francisco. We have offices throughout the state of California, as well as programs here in Charlotte, and really looking to move into San Antonio, Texas. So fingers crossed, we'll really be able to add more value in terms of business across the country. Next slide. Oh, wanted to also highlight our Wonder Group team. So we can't do this alone. We do this with our sub-consultant, the Wonder Group, really helps us with our outreach. We also have a strong working relationship with CBI. Again, we can't do this without them and all the staff that are within the city of Charlotte in terms of the various departments, because without them, it really is hard to identify the types of opportunities that exist for businesses like yourself. Next slide, Carlos. So our mission really is to remove barriers that prevent small businesses from bonding and access to capital. That's really the essence of what we do. We do this through our 4 pillars of contractor development, and that's assessment, technical assistance, bonding, contract financing support, education and training, and our prime partnership program. And as we go through the presentation, we'll talk more in more detail about those areas. Carlos, did you want to jump in here, or you wanted me to keep going?
No, I think you did good. I can do the next one.
Okay.
Next slide, please. So what is bonding? We'll talk a little bit about that. So it's simple, just put it simply, it's a 3-party agreement that guarantees that a contract gets completed. Some key elements of it is that it protects a party, not you as the contractor. You can't purchase it, so you have to qualify for it. Unlike insurance, where you can go buy an insurance policy, you actually have to qualify for bonding. And unlike insurance, it doesn't expect any losses. So, like I said before, it guarantees that you'll complete the project based on the agreement that you have with the owner. In this case, it would be the city of Charlotte or a city of Charlotte department. And so, why bonding? It's actually mandated by law, federally and at the local and state level. You can cite the Hurd Act of 1894 and the Miller Act of 1935 for federally, and then local and state, it'll look very different, varying by state, but it'll be called notified as like Little Miller Acts. And like I said, it ensures that the owner receives the finished product, the negotiated price, ensures that everyone gets paid, that the project gets completed. But a good thing as a small business contractor it can do is act as a pre-qualification tool to show that your ability to complete projects on time, on budget, on scope. And so you can use that as you're building your contracting capacity. Next slide. So some of the services we offer that Lakeisha kind of mentioned are 4 pillars of contractor development. We offer obtaining or increasing bonding capacity. So if you don't have any bonding, we can help you obtain that by referring you to sureties and other brokers, or increasing your bonding capacity if you're looking to work on larger scale projects and larger dollar amount projects. We do contractor development and able to help you build your capacity through a lot of technical services and assistance that we do offer with the program. And one of our newest programs that we're excited about is the Contract Financing Assistance Program, which we'll talk a little bit about. So what happens when you enroll in the Contractor Development Program is you get a dedicated account manager, or we call them a Contractor Development Manager, who will help you with your business development. So what will happen is you'll go through an assessment where you have a brief meeting. They'll ask you some questions about your business. Some of you may already be enrolled in the program, so you're very familiar with this. And so what they do from that assessment is help you develop a work plan on how you're going to achieve your goals in pursuing City of Charlotte contracts. From there, what we also do is offer agency collateral support. So between our bid, performance, and payment bonds for qualified contractors, again, there's that word qualification. You have to qualify for the bond to receive that assistance. We have accounting cost subsidies. And then another thing we'd like to highlight too is our weekly bid opportunities. So we send out every week or bi-weekly as well. We send out project opportunities that meet your scope of work. So when you're enrolling a program, you have different contractors that may do a similar work or the same work. And so we'll send out those email alerts for those different projects when they do come out so you're aware of them. We also have a bi-weekly newsletter that we call the Contractor Connection that'll have a lot of those project opportunities, events, and resources that you'll be able to see right in your email and your inbox that you can participate in and find more information that'll help you grow your business.
I just wanted to jump in and just say that we really want to be an extension of your business. We want to make sure that we can help you identify new opportunities, help you really navigate. It's important to, as a small business, to make sure you're aware of all the resources that are out there for you. So we really want to be an extension of your business, be a resource for you, because we know a lot of times you're in the field doing the work, and then you have to come back and search and find new opportunities to keep your business afloat. So again, if you are enrolled in our program, we really want you to begin really utilizing us to our fullest extent. And if you're not, we welcome you to join.
Yeah, next slide. All right, so I mentioned the assessments and work plan that contractor development manager will go over with you. Another thing we offer is a contractor profile. So similar to a capability statement or a one-page marketing sheet front and back is where you'll have information about projects you worked on. It'll have your NICS codes. It may have your license number. It'll have your contact information. It'll have your bonding limit. A lot of information that you can just have that at your ready when you're at an event, you're at a trade show, you're networking with somebody, and sometimes you got 30 seconds to do your elevator pitch, but you want to leave them with a little bit more information and also how to get in contact with you. So that's a one-page sheet that we help you develop as well. We also work with you on getting certified. So we have CBI here who will be talking about certifications that are available in just a few moments, but we'll help you work with them to get certified. We do bid document review. So when you're going to bid on a project and you have a bid that you want to submit, we'll review that with you and offer some advice that we can. Contract completion support. So as you're working on the project, we have services that are available to help you complete that project, make sure that everything is going right in order, and that everything's done on time and on budget. We also feature monthly workshops and coaching. Similar to this, we do other workshops where we talk about different topics once a month usually. So far, we've done bonding. We've talked about QuickBooks for contractors. We've mentioned marketing. We've done bidding and estimating. We have a new one that just came out that we'll be doing on June 5th called Contract Review and Negotiation. So showing you how to review a contract and negotiate a contract. That'll be very insightful. We'll have more coming up throughout the year. And then we also do construction and training academies. So these are our 5 to 6 week long training academies where we cover different topics, but more in an in-depth base. So we will take 5 weeks or so and cover bidding and estimating to show you how to bid and estimate your project with the city of Charlotte. And then we'll cover contract award and management, which we just wrapped a few weeks ago. That actually takes you from you've been awarded a contract, so how do you manage that contract all the way through closeout? And then our prime partnership program. So we work with some larger general contractors and prime in the area that are working on projects that do come in. They teach our classes. They'll reach out to us if they're looking for certain trades. So we create a networking opportunity as well around those. And I saw a question pop in and said, are these programs and services free? You're getting a little bit ahead of me, but yes, there's no cost to these programs and services. All we require you is to enroll and put in the time and effort that it takes for your business to be successful. So I usually tell people you get out of this what you put in. So there's a lot of programs, including ours, that you can take advantage of and you should take advantage of, but they're only successful as you work them. So to answer your question, Tom, we can go to the next slide. All right, so our contractor development contract financing program. So this program is in partnership with the Carolina Small Business Development Fund. It's basically functions as funding for you to get started on a project as you're waiting for your funds to come in from that project. So some requirements you have to meet is being enrolled in the contractor development program, and you must be a certified MWSBE with the city of Charlotte, and you'll understand what all that means once CBI comes in and talk about their certification. So what we do is we encourage people that if you know you see a project that's coming up that you want to bid on, and you know you may need to utilize these services, I encourage you to get pre-qualified with this. And so you'll go through a program, your training will help you get pre-qualified. So that way, when your project comes up, you already have everything in place and you're not scrambling at the last minute to try to get all this information together and make sure your funding is correct. And so we do that before the time of bid. It's good for construction contracts only at this time. And it's allocated funds for an approved project only. So a lot of things you have to meet, but we do a 2-day workshop that we do where we cover everything in detail, in great detail about what CFAP is as we call it, and what you can do with it. There's a lot of things. We have a max of $250,000 for each project that you work on. That can be available if you are pre-qualified and you meet all the qualifications. And one of the things I wanted to say, it does help if you're maybe having trouble going into a traditional lender to get funding. This is something that you could probably take advantage of in that instance. It can help boost your credit score and improves the likelihood of you getting future capital from a traditional lender. So this may help you catapult into finding more access to capital in the future. Anything else you wanted to add, Lakeisha?
Yeah, I want to give a good statistic that we found, a stat that 25% of businesses who enroll in this program have graduated to traditional lending. So that shows you the depth and the comprehensiveness of this type of program and the support that it offers to really provide the wraparound services to help with understanding cash flow management, understanding how to pay your vendors on time, all those things, filling in the gap between the funding of your first pay app and being able to make those pay periods. Thank you. Make those pay periods in the front end to make sure that we're avoiding any payment default. So it really is a great opportunity for you to take advantage of. Like Carlos stated, let's do it before you get a project. This is an opportunity to leverage the project award as collateral support on your future win. Next slide.
Thank you. Yep.
Carlos, as we're moving on, can I just ask one quick question? Just
Yes.
for clarification for everyone that's on this call. What are you all identifying as a small business? Because of course, SBA has the definition of 100 to 1,500 employees. We have a number of small businesses on here that are 1 to 10 people. So I think it will also be helpful for those that are sitting on so they actually see there is value throughout this entire discussion to know whether or not they are included in this discussion.
I'm going to bring Lakeisha in on this one. She'll have more insight than I do.
Yeah, so basically we're looking for businesses to be certified. Carlos mentioned the MBE, WBEs. Those are the certifications that we're looking for. If you can certify through those avenues, then you are can register and be applicable for this program.
Thank you. No, that's a great question. So I'll move into a little bit about the bid document review that I mentioned earlier. So how we do this is we attend pre-bids. We attend a lot of pre-bids with different departments in the city, but we attend pre-bids. We'll review the contract with you. So we'll review plans and specs. We'll help you identify risk and required documents that need to be included in the bid, and we'll do a final bid document review. So we'll go through everything with you. One thing we don't do is advise on numbers. So if you have $200,000 and you bid and it was over or under, or you didn't get awarded, we're not liable. And someone saying, hey, you told me to bid this number and that wasn't correct. So we don't advise on numbers, but we do ask you questions. We do go through the bid with you to make sure that you're responsive and you have everything that you need to do as far as requirements are concerned. And then from there.
Oh, sorry, Carlos. I was just going to say, we look to you as the subject matter expert. So we do not provide, we don't give suggestions on your numbers or how to bid, but we do ask clarifying questions, things for you to think about so that you can make sure that you are providing a bid that is well-rounded, that doesn't have any gaps, scope gap. So we want to make sure that we do ask those type of questions, but we look to you as a subject matter expert for the field that you would be, bidding on. So just wanted to explain why we don't provide, I guess, recommendations on cost.
Yeah, exactly. And then right after the bid review, regardless if you're awarded or you're not awarded, we'll do a post-bid debrief. So we'll talk about, hey, this is what you did right. This is why you're awarded. Or you know what? Let's talk about why you weren't awarded and see what we can do differently as you move forward and bid on more opportunities. So we really have a well-rounded program that's there to offer a lot of different services and support. And as I mentioned, there's no cost to those services outside of the contract financing assistance program. Go to the next slide. And then project completion support. So once you are awarded a project, we'll help you set up a project kickoff meeting and go over the job start checklist. In that meeting, we'll invite the owner, we'll invite the prime if necessary to that meeting so everyone understands, the scheduling, the expectations of what's to be done, the job, and everyone's on the same page. And then we'll do what we call contract and principal status reports. So we have monthly check-ins. We can help you and assist you with billing and payments, understanding the construction schedule. We'll do site visit reports. So we actually will help come on site and just review the things with you. If there's some conflict that may be happening, we can help you mediate that. as well as change orders and review those with you to make sure that you're functioning on the project properly and everything's moving along. And so that way, hopefully there's no holdup as far as the schedule or pathway to other parts of the project. Next slide. And then, so that's the end of our presentation about the contractor development program. It's a great program. Like I said, if you utilize it, it can work for you. It may take time. It's not instant oatmeal or anything like that. I wouldn't say, you come and join tomorrow and you're going to get a contract the next day. I can't guarantee that, but I can guarantee that if you work hard, you put the time, you put the effort in, eventually something will happen for you. And so we're here. You can reach us at the phone number listed here. There's an email there as well. We're also on the CBI website as well. I mean, we will give you copies of all the presentations that you see today. So if you missed something or thought you read something and weren't able to take a note or anything like that, you will get a copy of the presentations with that information. All right, any questions? What if we get rewarded a contract before we start the program? That's great. We can still provide services to you. It's not always just because in pursuit of a contract, we do have services that are available once you are awarded the project. Like I mentioned, the contract completion support, we can help you in those areas as well. All right, so we can move on. I want to transition over into a brief interview with one of our contractors. So I'm going to invite Josh Wallace to come on camera. He's with TELUS Construction. We're just going to have a brief conversation about his experience so far with the City of Charlotte Contractor Development Program. Excuse me. How you doing this evening, Josh?
Hey, doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us. So just give us a little bit about TELUS Construction and what the scope of work you guys perform.
So TELUS Construction's a licensed general contractor in North and South Carolina. We primarily perform interior outfit work, but a lot of times we're doing some trade work for different private and public clients. Established in 2020 and look to grow in the community here.
Great, thank you. What piqued your interest as far as seeking public opportunities with the City of Charlotte?
I've got introduced to public work in North Carolina in Charlotte and in the late 90s and early 2000s, and just had a great environment working with them. And so I've always targeted the City of Charlotte as a client. I mean, it's a growing city and a lot of opportunity there, and just being in public work, it kind of levels the playing field on rip and read type of bid scenario. So we do some private work, but we also do public work, and it kind of helps keep you competitive in the market and know what the local market rates are going for. So we always try to bid public and private work.
Awesome. So how simple would you say the process was to get started with the contractor development program, and what has been your experience so far as the services and resources that you've been provided or taken advantage of since your time?
Well, hats off to Councilwoman Mayfield and James Mitchell on spearheading this program for businesses like myself here in Charlotte. It's very unique. I get a lot of jaw drops when I explain the program to people, because in starting a new business, especially in construction, you get caught in a catch-22 of, well, you haven't done this before, so how would we entrust you to perform the work? So again, that's where public work kind of levels that playing field and allows you to bid against the market. But then you have your issues of a new company of having capacity and being able to continue growing, and bonding is usually one of the larger obstacles that new construction companies find is, it's kind of like a credit score. If you don't have it today, it's going to take you a while to build it. And it's, everybody's probably, most of the people on this audience are entrepreneurs, so they know that, there's skin in the game. And in the bonding world, you're literally qualifying yourself against your work. So when I heard that there was assistance in the bonding program, that spoke volume to my situation personally. I uh, when I got introduced to the program, I did have a bonding capacity, but a lot of the jobs that I wanted to bid, I didn't have the bonding capacity to bid. Um, so I signed up right away. I don't know if everybody
Yeah.
saw on the slide, but collateral of $250,000 is a pretty significant amount of money that can be applied towards your business. I don't know, almost like fast forwarding your business in time, to be able to capitalize on that now, where it might take you years to be able to build up to that type of collateral. So it instantly allowed me to bid jobs that were larger that I wouldn't be able to bid. As far as the process and the seamlessness of it, I think there was maybe a week of an opportunity for a bid that was due, for us to collaborate. And like I said, I already had a bonding company, so I don't know if the audience understands that if you're already bonding, Meriwether can work with your bonding company, or they can provide you a bonding company to work with. So I think my situation was rather unique, where I kind of said, well, I've already got a bonding guy, and he would like to work with you to continue growing my program with him. And he wanted to have some offline conversations with you guys to make sure this was real. Yeah, he was wildly impressed with your team, and we've been able to collaborate and work together. So I would say the process is less intrusive than what a normal bonding process would be. And one, there was assistance from your team to help me out through the paperwork. There's a lot of back and forth with the bonding company that I wasn't privy to all of it, but it's rather unique, and I think the success rate that you guys have had in other cities and here so far is speaks volume.
No, that's great. We thank you for trusting us to help you grow your business and grow the future of your business. So my last question would be, if there's someone listening right now that may be on the fence, like, man, I don't know, this sounds too good to be true, or I don't know if it could really help me in my business. What would you say to that person that may be having some thoughts of those similar thoughts right now?
Well, I mean, the first challenge I would ask them is to, go provide their own bonding and see how that process went, and then compare the two. Um, it's a unique situation where, if you qualify for the program, there's capital at your disposal. So I think that's, rather unique, and very, very good forethinking by everybody that's put this together, that understands the market here, and said, hey, this is a way that contractors are, they're able to grow to a new threshold where they're kind of caught. If you're only able to bond 500,000 right now, Meriwether might be able to help you bond 1 million, and that can, you know, the capacity growth of being able to do larger work um, sometimes comes with an opportunity. It's not that you don't have the skills to do it. It's just you don't have that opportunity yet. So it opens up the doors for opportunities that might not have been there for you.
Yeah, certainly, certainly. Thank you so much, Josh. Thank you for just doing this brief conversation, this brief chat with us, and sharing your experience with the contractor development program. We wish you the best of luck in the future, and we know we'll be here to support you in every way we can.
I look forward to working with all of you in the future even more.
All right, thank you. So now we'll pivot to a brief poll that we want you guys to answer. Jason, if you could pull that poll up or launch that. Just want you guys to answer the brief yes or no question. After hearing about the benefits and services of the City of Charlotte Contractor Development Program, would you like to enroll in the program to receive technical assistance and resources. So this is just a simple yes or no question. We'll give you guys a few seconds to do that. And as you guys are doing that, I wanted to invite CBI up, and we have Natasha Smith here and Jasmine here with CBI to talk to you guys about certifications.
Actually, I think we have Kimberly Tibbs with CBI.
Oh, okay, my apologies.
No worries, Carlos. Good evening, everyone. My name is Kimberly Tibbs, and I'm the lead certification specialist for the Charlotte Business Inclusion Program. So I am delighted to be with you all this evening. I've been in this role for about 15 years. So it's always an honor to work with new vendors, old vendors that are interested in doing work with the city of Charlotte and becoming certified. So thank you so much for being here this evening. Next slide, please. So again, I'm not going to be before you too long. So I just want to briefly give you a highlight about the Charlotte Business Inclusion Program. Basically talking about the small business enterprise eligibility requirements. The City of Charlotte, our office administers the small business enterprise certification application process. This particular certification, the small business enterprise with the City of Charlotte, is a race and gender neutral certification. And qualifying persons must own 51% of the business. The personal net worth of the majority owner cannot exceed $750,000. And we're going to exclude the business ownership, retirement counts, and equity in your primary home. You must have a significant business presence in the Charlotte CSA. And as you can see on the slide, there's a map of the locations that can participate in the Charlotte Business Inclusion Program. We have about 9 counties in North Carolina and about 3 in South Carolina. So if you have a business in one of those counties, you'll be meeting one of the eligibility requirements for the Small Business Enterprise Certification. You must perform a commercial useful function to the city. So you must perform or provide a service or commodity that the city of Charlotte can procure. So we're currently not certifying nail tech salons or beauty salons or tattoo parlors or anything like that, because that's not something that the city would purchase right now anyway. Another requirement is your gross sales receipts cannot exceed 1/4 of the SBA size standards, and they are different per industry. And I'll give you an example. If your business activity is specialty construction, the gross sales receipts on your tax returns cannot exceed 4.75 million. So we take 1/4 of the SBA size standard, which for that particular industry is 19 million. But again, 1/4 would be 4.75. And again, that varies per industry. It's different for each industry. And also another requirement is that you have to be a general vendor with the city of Charlotte, which is about a 2 to 3 page application that is secure that you would submit online, just giving your general vendor information, business information, and that's where you would list your commodity codes of the services that you provide. Next slide, please. Okay, so as I mentioned, you can participate in the Charlotte Business Inclusion Program as a small business enterprise, or you can participate in our program as a minority or women business enterprise. So I'll go over those requirements as well. So for the minority women business enterprise, if you're participating with that particular certification, you have to be certified with the state of North Carolina's historically underutilized business office. So once you have that certification, you'll be meeting one of the steps. Again, you have to be a general vendor with the city of Charlotte, and we have the link on the slide as well. You have to have a significant business presence in North Carolina, all 100 counties. It doesn't matter If you have a business located in North Carolina, you'll be meeting one of those requirements as well, or York County, South Carolina. You have to have a valid North Carolina Hub certification letter. And the other two additional documents will come from our office, which is a MWBE Relevant Market Area Certificate and a Gender and Ethnicity Affidavit. So that the steps for the Hub certification and participating as a minority and women is very, very simple for us. You can go to the next slide. So once you become certified as an SBE with the City of Charlotte, your certification is active for 4 years. You'll receive a 90, 60, and a 30-day notification in our vendor management system when it's time to renew. Certification is free. Again, I'm a certification specialist, and I'm here to help you facilitate the SBE certification process. So please, please, please reach out to me. Once you become certified as an SBE or registered in our database as a minority or women business enterprise, your firm is listed on the city vendors database. There's increased visibility and notification of city contracting and subcontracting opportunities, and also free workshops, seminars, and networking events that are available to you. Next slide. In addition to that, certified firms can receive $100 off for annual membership to the following associations that's listed on this slide. And this is new membership. So if you're already a member, you can't receive the $100, but for any new membership, you can receive $100 towards those fees. And we also provide tuition assistance for certified firms up to $300 with the CPCC Small Business Center only. So if you're interested in taking a class, I think they're offering QuickBooks right now. You can reach out to me and I can connect you with the correct team member on our team. Next slide. Okay. So to apply for the SBE certification, we do have an online process, and it's with our Supplier Diversity Management System, or we call it Inclusion CLT. It's very, very user-friendly. You can submit your application and supporting documents into our portal, and we'll have the opportunity to review those applications. And if you have any questions or if we need any additional documentation from you, we'll reach out to you through that system. And also, I want to mention that you can also apply for the SBE certification via paper. So we meet you where you are. If you are interested in applying that way, we can do that for you as well. And all you have to do is just mail in those documents. So you have options. Next slide. Okay, so again, I am Kimberly Tibbs. I'm the lead certification specialist, and I believe Natasha Smith is on the call as well. So we are here to assist you in any way possible. Please give us a call. If you want to set up an appointment with us to review your application, you can come to our office uptown. I don't know if you want to do that or not with all the traffic, but we can also set up a Teams or a Zoom meeting with you to go over the application process with you. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I did see one question come in the Q&A. What's considered a significant presence?
Okay.
The 15th or 22nd of next month for us to get together at the house.
So it could be a combination of things. It could be having an actual office location in one of those counties, or it can be having employees located in one of the counties that meet the qualifications for the SBE certification. So we look at several different factors.
And then the next question was, well, I'll kind of paraphrase it. If someone needs their certifications updated, Will they come through your office as well?
Well, for the SBE, they would. Again, if they want to submit that certification online, that's available, or you can apply via paper as well. But you would need to contact our office. And that's for the SBE with the City of Charlotte. For the M or WBE certification, you would have to facilitate that process through the hub office in Raleigh. But we can assist you as well.
Thank you, Kimberly. That marks the end of the questions that I see about certifications. Thank you so much for being here and taking time out of your evening to talk to us about certifications, which are important and which have some great benefits. So all we have to do is apply and get help. And so you see their contact information there. Please feel free to reach out with any questions. Again, we're providing resources for you to know who to go to get your questions answered. So thank you again, and thank you to your entire team for all the work that you guys do.
Thank you. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
All right, next we're going to invite up Jasmine Turman from Charlotte Douglas International Airport to talk about some contracting and subcontracting opportunities.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Again, I'm Jasmine Turman. Not only do I want to talk about our contracting and subcontracting opportunities, I also want to go over the DBE and ACDBE programs. I know we're talking about the CBI program, which is for our locally funded projects here within the city of Charlotte. But because we are an airport that receives federal funding from the Federal Aviation Administration and USDOT, we are required to have our DBE and ACDBE programs. Next slide, please. So just a little bit about me. I currently serve as CLT's Office of Civil Rights Manager. I'm not going to go into all of the programs that I oversee, but I will specifically talk about the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, or DBE program, as well as the Airport Concessions Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. Next slide, please. I'm going to breeze over this slide really quickly. I just wanted to include some fast facts about CLT Airport, but in the interest of time, I'll keep it quick. Just wanted to show you all how much we've grown over the past few years, and that we have a pretty significant economic impact on the state of North Carolina and our international destinations. Next slide, please. All right, so what are the types of contract opportunities here at the airport? So I broke it down by prime contract opportunities and subcontract opportunities. So talking about our prime contracts, we solicit for professional services, which would be architectural services, engineering, surveying, etc. Also construction. Many of you know, if you travel through our airport, we are one big construction site. We just fly planes out of this construction site. So there's plenty of construction happening all of the time. We also advertise for general services, like painting and certain like office upfit and things like that would be general services. We also purchase goods, vehicles, and equipment. And so again, we are a City of Charlotte department. So all of these prime contract opportunities are going to be listed on the City of Charlotte's website. And we have to bid out, like we have to do a formal solicitation. And now going into our subcontract opportunities, those are going to be via goals that we set on our contracts. And I always like to clarify that the subcontracting opportunities are not directly with the airport or with the City of Charlotte. They are through the prime. So we set goals on we set subcontracting goals on our prime contracts, and then that is how those opportunities are for our DBE, ACDBE, NBE, CBI subcontractors. So those opportunities will be on our construction projects, vertical construction, which is like building construction, and also horizontal construction, which is like flat work, road work on the mostly on the airfield. We also have sub-consultant opportunities for our professional services and general services. And also we have sub-concession opportunities. So this is for our terminal concessions where we have food and beverage, specialty retail, and also our rental car services. All of our concession contracts have airport concession, disadvantaged business enterprise goals on them. Next slide, please. All right. I wanted to highlight some recently completed projects and some projects that we're currently working on, just to show you that they keep me very busy at this airport. Next slide, please. So this is our Concourse A expansion. It's a very nice, it's my favorite concourse at the moment, and this opened in July 2018. Next slide. Next slide, please. And this is Concourse A Phase 2. This is a rendering of the Phase 2 that is currently under construction. Next slide, please. This is an actual photo of Concourse A Expansion Phase 2. That construction started about 2 years ago in May of 2022, and it is scheduled to be completed in the fall of this year. We're looking at September of 2024. The prime contractor is J.E. Dunn, and they're a joint venture with McFarland Construction. So that's who we've been working with for this project. Next slide, please. If you're anything like me, you appreciate a good before and after photo, so I thought I'd throw that in here. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see the old Concourse B. Many of you, I'm sure, remember when it looked like that. And on the right hand, on my right side of the screen, it is the new Concourse B. So I wanted to give you all an idea of the type of opportunities or work that we do here. So a lot of that would be the concourse renovations. We have renovated concourses A, B, and C. D and E are currently underway. Next slide, please. This is probably one of my favorite photos of all. We are currently undergoing the terminal lobby expansion construction here at the airport. This photo, I believe, was taken like the end of 2019, right before the COVID pandemic. And again, many of you may remember when our terminal looked like this, our terminal lobby looked like this. So the construction for the terminal lobby expansion started early 2020. Scheduled completion is 2025. Thankfully, it does not look like that anymore. Next slide, please. It is starting to look more like this. This is a rendering of what the terminal lobby will look like in 2025 when it is open. And if you've traveled through the airport recently, you can see it's starting to look like this now. So we have a lot more space, which is fantastic. Next slide, please. And then the last project I wanted to highlight is the airport overlook, which is, I think we're at substantial completion at this point. So the airport overlook should be reopening very soon. This is a rendering of what it will look like. Next slide, please. And this is just another rendering of the playground that will be at the airport overlook. So we're really excited to reopen that. Okay, next slide, please. All right, now I want to talk about the fourth parallel runway program. Next slide. So the fourth parallel runway has been taking up a lot of my time and energy because this is a huge federally funded project here at the airport. We are building a fourth parallel runway. This is a rendering of what it will look like when it is all said and done. The runway will be commissioned in September of 2027. So I've got a long road ahead of me with this project, but so far so good. This, like I said, it is a federally funded project. It is a $1,006,000,000 program, and about $650 million are designated to construction. So I say all that to say there are lots of contracting and subcontracting opportunities just with the fourth parallel runway program. And this, like I said, it is a federally funded program. So all of the packages that we bid out for this program are going to be subject to the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. So if you are DBE certified, then you certainly can qualify to be a subcontractor for any of the projects in this program. Next slide, please. So some of you have seen this before. In every presentation that I give, I always include this slide. This is an overview of the fourth parallel runway program, and we have color-coded each of the various packages. Thankfully, you all will get your own copy of this once they share the slides, because it's kind of hard to read on the screen, at least for me. But you can see the legend on the right-hand side, and it's color coordinated, so it can tell you what color or what project that will be. I will say we had the taxiway B, one of the taxiways, we had that bid opening this afternoon at 2 p.m. Also, the West Boulevard relocation is what you see on the orange. We've already awarded that contract. And then currently the NEAT extension, or the North End Around Taxiway extension, is currently out for bid. Next slide, please. And here are all of the packages, the three that I just mentioned, and then the rest of the package, packages 2, 3, and 4, as well as the South End Around Taxiway. They have not been advertised for bid, but they will soon. So I wanted to include that in here. They are color coordinated in relation to the last slide, so you can kind of match up which colors are for which project. And we have a bid advertising timeline, so you can see when they're scheduled to go out to bid. Also, we post all of this information on the city's early bird website. I wanted to plug that. So if you're looking to see what's coming down the pipeline and what those scopes will look like, that information is on early bird. And I have that link here too on a later slide. Next slide, please. So I wanted to include some of the scopes of work that will be for the that will be on the projects for the 4th parallel runway. And I highlighted these. This is not an all-inclusive list, but I wanted to highlight these because these are ones that are likely to be, well, that will be subbed out to DBE certified firms. So grading, erosion control, storm drainage, earthwork. I didn't include hauling on here, but hauling obviously is a major one. Airfield lighting, pavement markings. All of these things we're going to be looking to set DBE goals on for every single package. So if you are a DBE certified firm that does any of this work, please reach out to me and I can give you more information about subcontracting opportunities for 4th parallel runway. Next slide, please. All right, now I'm going to talk about the DBE and ACDBE programs here at CLT Airport. I do realize that many of you on this call may be DBE or ACDBE certified, but if you're not, I wanted to include that information. Next slide, please. And I'll do this fairly quickly in the interest of time. So talking about the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program, again, this is for our federally funded projects. The vast majority of our construction projects here are going to be federally funded. So when the prime, for those of you who are bidding as primes, you're going to have, there are going to be DBE goals on most all of our construction packages are going to have a DBE goal if they're federally funded. The DBE goal that we set, your utilization commitment must meet or exceed the established participation goal at the time of bid submission. So that's different, a little bit different from the Charlotte Business Inclusion Program. There's a 24-hour grace period with the Charlotte Business Inclusion Program. That is not the case with the DBE program. So for example, if we set a goal in a project at 15%, we expect you to reach out to certified firms and we can help you get a list of firms or kind of direct you on how you can find DBE certified firms. But we expect you to have that utilization commitment locked in once we open bids. And the firms must be certified by NCDOT to count for participation. So if you have a firm that you want to use that's based in another state, that's great. They must be certified via NCDOT in order to count. Also, we are making sure that the DBE goals are maintained or exceeded throughout the duration of the project. I think Kimberly had mentioned, or she had shown a slide, I think it was the B2G portal, but we utilize the B2G Now system and we're tracking every month to make sure that you are meeting your goals and that the DBE firms that you say are being utilized are actually being utilized. Also, I want to say that you cannot remove a DBE subcontractor or replace them without the permission of CLT Airport. That happens a lot, and we are, it should not happen. So we have some rules and regulations that we have newly put in place to make sure that that doesn't happen. And also another thing I wanted to mention is that we do conduct like commercially useful function visits and reviews and monitor compliance with the Davis-Bacon Act, but I don't want to get too far in the weeds. Next slide, please. So our airport concession disadvantaged business enterprise program, this is going to be for our passenger-facing concessions at the airport. So when you're in our terminal, our food and beverage concessions, our specialty retail, our advertising concession, believe it or not, and also the rental car companies. I do want to say this, CLT Airport, we don't have direct leases with stores and franchises. So for example, let's say you have a Panera franchise. You're not going to have a direct lease. You can't say, hey, I want to have a space in the airport. So we have prime concessionaires. Our prime concessionaire for food and beverage is HMS Host, and our prime concessionaire for specialty retail is Parodies. We can help you get product placement in partnership with HMS Host and Parodies. And if you are ACDBE certified, that's fantastic. That makes you more appealing. They want to work with you because they want to meet their ACDBE goals. But in just like the DVE program, ACDBE firms must be certified by NCDOT. Again, we're tracking the participation month over month to make sure that the primes are meeting or exceeding their ACDBE goals, and the same rules apply. Again, sub-concessionaires can't be replaced or removed without permission of CLT. Next slide, please. So I wanted to include the DVE and ACDBE eligibility and certification, kind of just like a high-level overview. One note, CLT Airport or the City of Charlotte, we are not a DVE and ACDBE certifying entity, at least not yet. So if you want to become DVE or ACDBE certified, you must go through NCDOT. We work very closely with NCDOT, obviously, because of all of the projects that we have that require DVE and ACDBE participation. But we here are not a certifying entity, at least not at this time. So some basic eligibility criteria: you have to be a small business as defined by the program. For the DVE program, that size limit is 23.98 million over a 3-year average. And for the ACDBE program, it's a little bit bigger. It's 56.42 million over a 5-year average. So that's how they define small business. Also, you have to be part of a social disadvantaged group, minority group, women, and you have to be at an economic disadvantage. Your personal net worth cannot exceed 2.047 million, which recently has increased with the final rule that was passed on May 9th. Also, the ownership, you have to be at least 51% owned by a person within the social economically disadvantaged group. And then again, when you're applying for your certification, you're going to do that through NCDOT. You're going to gather all of your supporting documentation, which on their application, that's on page 15, they'll let you know all of the things that you need to gather in order to submit your application. And you can submit it, I think you can still submit it via mail, but they prefer you use their certification portal. So again, you cannot get certified here at the airport or within the city of Charlotte. That may change very soon. However, if you need any assistance, if you need me to help you become certified or contact NCDOT, I'm more than happy to do that. Next slide, please. All right, I wanted to give a badging and security overview. Next slide, please. The reason I threw this in there is because there's so many people who have never worked at an airport, and this can catch them off guard. So because we're an airport, it is like maximum security here. We have very high security requirements. There's badging requirements. So if you are interested in working at the airport as a prime, as a sub, whatever it may be, please, please, please familiarize yourself with our security standards and our badging process. I've left the links here so you can familiarize yourself with the process. Next slide, please. And talking more about the badging requirements, if you're inside of the secured fence, so if you're on the AOA, the secured area, if you're anywhere on the airfield, you have to have a badge or you have to be under escort by somebody who has a badge. And the badging process is long. It takes about 4 weeks, sometimes 6 weeks per individual. There's like a fingerprinting process, there's a video training process, it's a whole thing. So I just wanted to throw that in there for folks who have not worked at an airport before and you're really excited. Let's say you're awarded a contract or a subcontract, and then you have to go through this. So just prepare yourselves. It is a lot. So just as an FYI. Next slide, please. Next slide. I threw in my contact information. Now I am busy a lot. I will admit that. It keeps me very busy here at this airport. So if you are unable to reach me by phone or by email, please charge it to my busy schedule, not my heart. I would love to talk to everybody, but that's not always possible. So I've also included two of my team members, Mia Guerrero and Eliana Vasquez. If you can't reach me, you can reach out to one of them and they can help you with your questions. Next slide, please. All right, I think I did okay with time. I think I went a little over. Any questions for me?
Oh, no, it's okay. You did great. The timing,
Okay.
don't worry about it. I did see a couple of questions come in. The first one was, how do we find awarded prime contractors for CLT airport bids?
How do you find awarded prime contractors? You can reach out to the procurement point of contact, or you can reach out to me and I can get that information to you.
Thank you. And then the last question that I see is, how someone with a sign business is asking how they can receive information about airport signage. I'm assuming they're meaning project opportunities for airport, maybe wayfinding signage or something similar.
Yeah, so all of our opportunities are going to be posted on the City of Charlotte website. Because we are a city department, we have to formally advertise those bids. Like we can't just hire somebody. We have to put out a solicitation. We have to go through there's a whole like formal bidding process. So if we're looking for signage or wayfinding, we will advertise that and post that on the City of Charlotte's website.
Okay, great. And then one question just came in. Can you elaborate on subcontractors not being able to be removed without permission?
Yes. Oh, that's Miss Stephanie Smith. Hey, Miss Smith. Elaborate on subs not being removed without permission. So we have seen an uptick, not an uptick, but we have recently implemented liquidated damages for our DBE program because there was a lot of movement, like primes that were removing DBE subs, adding DBE subs, doing things without our permission and without our knowledge. And then we were finding that there were some prompt payment issues. So for example, a sub was on a contract and they were subbing to another sub and they didn't get paid. And then they call us after the fact and we were like, we didn't even know that you were a second tier sub on this project. So to crack down on all of that, we have implemented liquidated damages. So that does not happen in the future. And
Right.
overall, and also on the ACDBE side, if there's protections with the DBE and ACDBE program. So if a prime concessionaire or a prime contractor wants to remove a DBE sub, they can't just remove them at will. There's a whole process that's implemented.
Okay. And then, sorry, one more question.
Yeah.
Someone's saying I'm ACDBE certified, but for training bids or needs, does that grow through to primes? For a little context around the question, they are a pastry chef, but I used to use dessert to facility DEI training.
Okay. ACDBE certified, but for training bids or needs, does that go through primes? For training bids. Okay, I think I understand the question. So if you just want to work, like let's say we're hosting an event and you want to provide your pastries to the City of Charlotte, you don't necessarily have to be ACDBE certified. If you are a city vendor, we can work with you. We can issue a purchase order to you for those services. So that wouldn't be through the ACDBE program. The ACDBE program is specifically for concessions, for passenger-facing concessions. But if you're talking about training for like airport and city employees, then as long as you're a city vendor and it's under, a certain threshold, we can issue a purchase order for that. Oh, she said, no, that wasn't my question. Okay.
Well, maybe you can take her contact information down, and maybe we can have a separate conversation. That way, we can make sure
Okay.
the question gets answered.
Absolutely.
And then I see a couple of questions here, but I think they kind of both generalize around the same place. So where would someone go to find project opportunities, whether it's safety and health or solar, EV energy, with Charlotte Airport?
So all of the contract opportunities are going to be on the City of Charlotte website, because again, we have to formally advertise those. We have to bid those out formally.
Great. Thank you so much, Jasmine, for your time and uh, answering all the great questions and providing this information about what's going on at the airport. We're excited to hear what you guys have going on. And I know you're busy, so thank you for taking time out to be here with us this evening and spending some time with us. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. And I will share my contact information in the chat here.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so moving on, we're just almost wrapping up. So we have one more presentation from you. I'm going to invite Cordesia Horn from Charlotte Water up to talk about what they have going on with the Charlotte Water Department. So Cordesia, welcome, and we're excited to hear what you have for your presentation.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. I'm Cordesia Horn with the City of Charlotte. I'm the Business Inclusion Specialist here, and in my role, I primarily work with construction contracts, as well as professional services that fall under the scope of architecture, engineering, and surveying. So I'll be giving you information as it relates to bidding on those types of contracts. Next slide, please. What I'm going to review at this time would be our currently advertised projects. The City of Charlotte is currently conducting a trial of new electronic solicitation procurement portal. And any vendor that would be interested in viewing or participating in the solicitations on the procurement portal must register using the link that's listed. That portal is called Bonfire. I have the link available here so that you'll have the details on how you can log in and register. Once you're registered, you'll be able to view opportunities, solicitations. You'll be able to submit questions, receive project updates. You'll actually be able to see bid results, as well as contract award information after a project has been bid out and awarded. Jason, if you can click on the link that's here at the bottom. Okay, thank you. So if you all can see what is here on the screen, this is a visual of what's actually live on the site currently. In this procurement portal, you will have access to all advertised projects that we have so far, whether it be Charlotte Water. I also work on projects with stormwater. And then you'll also notice that the city procurement office has projects listed here as well. So it's not just our projects that's available. You'll be able to find others also through the Bonfire site once you're registered. In particular, I wanted to kind of show you what it looks like once you are registered, and there may be a project that you're interested in, and what you'll see if you view the opportunity. Can you select collective storm drainage project T for me? You passed it. Go down about 2 more. Collective storm drainage improvement project T, and select view opportunity. Okay, so if you are registered and you go in and you want to view the opportunity, this is where you can find information that tells you what the project is about. You'll see that in the project description. The other project details that are available to you is the name, the department that the project is located in. This one in particular is a project that that is assigned to me. So that's why I'm reviewing it with you. And this project date opened on April 25th. There was a pre-bid for the project. If you scroll down a little bit more on the screen, Jason, there is an area that I like everyone to focus on. There's a section that says pre-bid. And go back up some. Okay, it says pre-bid meeting. The pre-bid meeting time has already come and gone for this particular project. If you notice the location, it tells you that the meeting was virtual. So that means you have access to be on the meeting at any time, whether it be, via the Teams meeting that we set up, or even if you call in, that information is provided ahead of time. And then also you'll see it says no for the meeting being mandatory. While pre-bid meetings are not mandatory, if you are a contractor or a subcontractor that has an interest in getting work with City of Charlotte altogether, I highly encourage you to attend pre-bid meetings. And that's because contractors will be there. That will be an opportunity for you if you are a subcontractor to begin some type of relationship with them so that they can learn more about what you do and what you offer, and potentially be selected as a subcontractor to work with them should the scopes fall under the business that you have. Another thing that I would also like to point out, for each individual project, a procurement officer is assigned to it. And if you scroll back up just a little bit, Jason, you'll see that for this particular project, should there be any questions or concerns about it, one of our procurement officers here in the office, Ms. Bridget Maxey, she is the direct contact for that particular project. So any questions that are related to it will go directly to her. This is pretty much how all projects are set up. So if you go into Bonfire, if there's something that you are interested in, you've reviewed the details and it looks like it's something that you want to move forward with, then this is how you would find that information. If you click on the portal tab that's up in the top left corner, it should take us back to the main screen. Okay. In the area where you see the orange highlight areas and then the green, those are the days left for the projects being out from the time that they were advertised. So of course, you'll see some that have been already closed. You'll see others that'll be closing soon. If you scroll down, there's some that won't close for another 30 days or so. So those are opportunities that are still available if you're interested in working on any projects and it applies to the scope of work that your organization covers. You can come out of this and then go to the next slide. Right, so on this slide, some of this information will be stuff that you heard from Kimberly Tibbs, but I'm going a little bit more into detail with some of the things that apply for the projects that we work on, which I mentioned were construction, as well as professional services that relate to AES scopes. On those projects, MBE and WBE goals will be set on them. MBE and WBE relevant market areas have expanded. Kim mentioned that earlier. It's all 100 counties of North Carolina, as well as York County as it relates to MBE and WBE certification. The original 13 county CSA still applies to the SBE certification. For SBE goals, those will only be set where there is no MBE or WBE availability. As far as MWSBE certification and registration, also repeating what Kim mentioned before, MBE and WBEs must be certified by North Carolina Hub. and registered with the City of Charlotte's Business Inclusion Office in order to count towards MBE and WBE goals. The SBE certification, of course, is completed directly through the Charlotte Business Inclusion Office, and that relevant market remains the same, which is the traditional 13 county combined statistical areas. And they're listed here below if you want to take a look at that as well. Another thing that I'd like to address as far as certifications are concerned, of course, if you are an SBE with City of Charlotte, and then you also go through the hub office, you will either be a M or a W. So that means when you have your certification with us, if you fall under the M or W guidelines to become a certified MBE or WBE, you'll have both of those certifications in our system. As it relates to projects, you cannot double count. So if you're certified as an S, and then you also qualify to be certified as an M through the hub office, for example, you cannot use both those certifications to apply to one project. One has to be used. The rules that we have in place indicate that the M or the W has to be used first. And if you are a subcontractor, then that is determined by the prime contractor if you're working on a project with them. And they indicate that information on the form that is submitted with their bid documents when that comes into our procurement team. Next slide, please. All right, so you saw this screen before. However, I'm going to show you something slightly different. Kim talked about becoming certified. This system, which is our city's contract compliance system, you may also hear it referred to as B2G. This is where you will also go if you are a prime contractor. This I would consider your Bible for finding certified firms that you can use as subcontractors to work on projects with you. If you are a subcontractor and you're just looking to see, you know, how many other firms may be in the market that you're in that may be looking for the same type of work you're looking for, you can find them here as well. So Jason, if you click on that link for me, I'll kind of walk you guys through how you can find a certified firm in the system. All right, so you should be able to select staff login, the orange box, because that's what I would select. And also, okay, it's asking for login. If you come back out, if I'm able to share my screen, I can just pull it up really quickly here. I'm not sure if that's easy for you or not.
Yeah, you could go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me know if you guys can see that. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay, great. All right, so for me, I would select staff login. For anyone in the general public, you'd select vendor login. Overall, we're all going to see the same information. Oftentimes, I will have firms email me and say, hey, can you verify that this firm is certified? Of course, I will do that for you. That's not a problem. However, our access to viewing their certifications is exactly the same. All right, so I'm just going to go over how you would go into the system and search for a firm and their certification status. All right, so you go over to, from where I'm sitting, what would be my left, select search, select certified vendors, and I'll just enter a vendor that I've worked with recently. And you don't have to type in the whole name unless it's something completely unique, then I would suggest entering more information. So for example, this particular firm is Bird Dog Traffic Control. It tells you their location, how to contact them, and then the agency type. It tells us that they are an active Charlotte SBE, and then it also tells us that they are an active Charlotte WBE. If it says expired or pending or anything different in this area, that means they are not currently active. And when you are bidding on a project, you must be an active certified firm at the time of bid, not an hour after a bid, not the following day, but before that bid submission is entered. So that's generally what I wanted to show you there and where you can find those details, whether you are a prime contractor or a subcontractor, to find details about certification. All right, Jason, you can pull the other slides back up. And my final slide is my contact information, as well as, again, a link that provides you our access to our Charlotte Business Inclusion Policy so that you can become more familiar with that as well. Should you have any questions for me, this is my email address provided for you. And mentioned earlier, everyone should receive a copy of the presentation as well as the recording. If you have any questions now, I'm happy to answer them for you.
Okay, thank you, Cordesia. I do see one question in the chat. Can you just tell us what annual business volume means?
Can you repeat that for me?
Can you tell us what annual business volume means?
Annual business volume?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe that might have been during the last presentation. I'm not sure.
Okay, I didn't discuss anything related to that.
All right, and then there's one more. If we are on a professional services contract and you are needing contractors, project managers, etc., how can we get those requisitions?
We actually have project managers that are in-house for our projects. In the event, there have been times for professional services projects where we've subcontracted project managers. It is not something completely common, but it does happen. Those solicitations typically go out not as invitations to bid, but you may be familiar with them going out as a request for qualifications or request for proposal. And you can find those also listed in Bonfire.
Thank you. All right, seeing no other questions. Yeah, if you have any additional questions.
There's a question that just came up about 8A certification.
Oh, okay.
8A certification and women-owned small business certification are not certifications that we use here at City of Charlotte. Those are certifications that you would use with the Small Business Administration.
All right.
And DBE is a federal certification. That is what I believe Ms. Jasmine was referring to.
All right, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. And you guys do see her contact information there and the Charlotte Business Inclusion site there. So if you have any more questions, feel free to use that. Again, we will be sending out a copy of the recording and all the presentations that you heard this evening to you all. So if, like I said, if you missed any notes or anything like that, you will get it in the presentations along with the contact information that has been provided. So if there are any additional questions, that would be a good time to put them in the chat. I mean, in the Q&A function, I'm sorry. I'm not sure who this is for, but anyone can take this. What if my other certifications didn't show within the vendor portal For example, I'm NCSBE certified and awaiting NC Hub certification. Will only the certification be would the only certification be the CBI?
I can answer that unless you want to, Kim.
You can go ahead, and now I can add on.
Okay, so the only certifications that will show within our Charlotte Business Inclusion System will be the certifications that will apply towards the City of Charlotte portal. So that would be SBE, MBE, WBE if you have already gone through North Carolina Hub. And I've seen where we've also had DBE showing from time to time, but that's rare.
I have nothing to add. But I will say this, I see a question for Tova Consulting. Your company is certified as a small business enterprise with the City of Charlotte, but if you have a active hub certification with the state hub office, that is not showing. So I can send you some information after this meeting so we can get you registered, your hub certification registered with the city in our database.
Are there any more questions? Oh, someone has, is that Charlotte SBE or NC SBE or both? I'm not sure what they're referring to.
Well, Charlotte SBE is directly through the office with Kim and Natasha assisting certification. North Carolina SBE is through the state. So those are two different certifications.
Okay, I do see a question about requisitions in the chat, but I'm trying to locate where the actual question is. What I would ask that person to do, if you would just once you get the presentations, please email the correct contact with your question so that we can get that clarified for you. Okay, and then another question is for the City of Charlotte, we have to do Charlotte SBE certification. Is that correct? Yes.
If you meet the qualifications for the City of Charlotte SBE certification, we encourage you to apply for that particular certification.
All right, are there any more questions? All right, I guess we can move forward. I thank you. I want to thank everyone for attending this evening, making time out of your schedule to receive this great information and learn about opportunities around the Queen City. I want to thank Lakeisha Bearden from Meriwether Williams, Steve Coker from the City of Charlotte CBI's office, all of our presenters, Kimberly, Khadijah, getting somebody. Oh, sorry, Jasmine. I'm so sorry. Councilwoman Mayfield, Councilmember Mitchell for their support and sponsoring this program and this workshop and providing this for you. So thank you to everyone involved. Thank you to Jason with Meriwether Williams and Zahn with the Wonder Group for making this event happen. Thank you all for attending. We will be sending out the presentation and the video recording of this workshop, so you'll be able to access that information. And again, please utilize all the contact information that you received. And thank you all for your time and sharing some great information. And we look forward to seeing you at the next event. So thank you all and have a great rest of your evening.